everyone, it's Jess, and we're here to spend our day indoors. It's time. I have to talk about it. I can't keep dodging it. It's week 9 of Big Brother 27. I've been putting this off. I'm dreading it because I have nothing positive to say. But we gotta say it. We gotta make our peace with it. Finale is coming up, literally in like a week, almost a week. So I have to make my peace. I have to say my piece, make my peace. And it's week 9. We can get into it. I don't really want to, but we have to. So, picking up, week 9, right where week 8 leaves off. It's our first week of jury. They're all so happy. Oh, actually, there we go. They're all so happy. Everybody's happy Mickey's gone. They're all happy that they're in jury now. They're Rachel, so many of them are like, we gotta lock in. We're getting to the home stretch. The judges, we gotta lock in. We're gonna crush this end game. We're taking it all the way. I'm sick to my stomach watching this. Sick. Because as it is in Big Brother, why let anybody feel any happiness? Actually, that's not allowed in the Big Brother house. Sorry. So they're having their happy moments. Finally in jury. All that. Keanu comes out of the diary room with a card. He says, it says from the White Locust. They're like, what the hell is that? And the card lies and says to them, hey guys, we're gonna go out in the backyard. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a little party. You're all in jury. Yay! Yeah, you made it. Woo! So they put on their little outfit, their little tropical outfits. They're out there. There's drinks. There's snacks. The pool's open. They got like nice chairs out, all decked out. They're like, wow. You know how you like this show is bad because even they're like, what's going on here? Y'all aren't this nice to us. Several of them are sus. They're like, what's going on? Something ain't right. And they had every reason to be concerned. Because there goes the little TV turning on. Who's that? This dumb bitch mastermind. Oh, here he is. They're like, oh God, what now? He's like, oh, you're all so happy, huh? Guess what? Welcome to the Mastermind's month of mayhem. Mind you, there's barely a month left in the game, but okay. Sure. Month of mayhem. And he says to them, oh, you're real happy, huh? Month of mayhem. Guess what? Hope you like the food, because it's somebody's last meal. Because somebody is getting eliminated. And that's the word. Eliminated. Not evicted. Eliminated. And we will get to that. Because it's stupid. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, he lies to them again and says, ooh, can your comp skills save you? Will your social game be your salvation? There is no social game in this shit. It's tomfoolery. The fact that they're still trying to push this as like, oh, the social game. There was no social game to this. There was none. Absolutely not. Not the way they're trying to frame it, at least. Especially not with this house. Oh. I can't. So everybody, as we were, is sick to their stomachs. They're shocked. They're horrified. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? We've been in joy for 5 seconds. What do you mean someone's going home? What? And the mastermind, he can't be there. But he's got he got his concierge, who's from of the resort, the White Locust Resort, that will be guiding them through the evening. So Mastermind fucks off. Opens the door. Here comes Tyler Crispin. For people who just got told they're eliminated, they're all a little too happy to be seeing Tyler. I'd be like, get this man the fuck out of here if I were them. I'd be like, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see this Mastermind shit. Leave. Get away from me. Be gone. Goodbye. But no, Tyler Crispin is the concierge. And let me tell you something. This poor man. He did an interview with Sharon Tharp that I watched. And he said they didn't tell him shit. They just told, oh, you're going to come host a comp. Well, you're going to host this big, like the big thing. He's like, okay. And they got here. And then they told him. And he's like, oh, boy. They set his ass up for this. But that's production. I'm I can't. So they have a comp to do. Their first comp of the night. The safety comp. This person, whoever wins this comp, is safe, will not be eliminated. Guaranteed 100%. The comp they do is, they've done this before. They did it on All Stars. They did it on BB23. So different variations. This one, it's three tables. Little goal markings on the table at the end. But their goal is to get all three of the little tiki sliders into the green zone in the fastest time. And lock it in. Fastest time wins. They flew through this comp. Also, they had Tyler narrating this. Tyler, no hate to Tyler Crispin. Maybe not the best narration point. Maybe not the best for narrating this competition. He's kind of like, and then it's fine. It's okay. It's okay, Tyler. So they really blow through this. I think most of them timed out. Only a couple of them actually locked in. I believe Lauren was the first one to lock in because she was the first to go. Keanu was locked in. He actually I think he would have won. But he is beat out by Ava, who locks in with 39 seconds. Keanu had about 44. But in Keanu fashion, he walked to his button instead of running. He just walked and then hit the button. Ava at least ran. I'm like, okay, at least you ran for it. So Ava is safe. Now here comes the problem. It's time for the big event. The big reveal, as it is. Tyler Crispin says, hey guys, here's the comp you will be doing. The comp you will be doing. The big sliding doors open. And it's that fuck-ass hamster wheel maze from Reindeer Games. Now, I don't think any of these people have seen Reindeer Games, except for one person. And that person is Rachel Riley, who looks sick. As sick as I felt when we found this out. Now, never... You know the context. You better know the context. But the day this happened, Thursday night going into Friday. Feeds were down for 31 hours that day. They didn't come back on until midnight. The end of Friday, midnight, going into Saturday. And they had Sharon Tharp teasing something. Some people teasing some things. And Sharon posted a screenshot from Reindeer Games of not the actual competition, but of, I believe it was Xavier, Brittany, and Danielle sitting on the couch during that competition. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, don't tell me. Everyone's like, they're not actually going to do the hamster wheel elimination round, are they? I'm like, cause that's not Big Brother. That's That's Ranger Games. Ranger Games is a competition mini show, not this actual literal real game of Big Brother on day 60. They wouldn't do that, right? They would. Because these people, production is stupid. This is, listen. TLDR, the comp runs exactly how it does on Ranger Games. The safe person picks somebody to go in. They have 6.5 minutes to do the fucking wheel puzzle. If they do it, they're safe. And then they pick the next person to run. If they lose the puzzle, you're cooked. You're out. Goodbye. See you. Go to jury. This pissed me off. Listen, they've done a lot of bad twists in their days, CBS. Big Brother production. This really takes the fucking cake. This is crazy. This is so stupid. I need to go. This is the dumbest shit they've ever done. CBS, if you somehow have found this, you're moronic. What is wrong with you? It's like, this is literally against the entire purpose of the show, which is not the fucking challenge. Listen, I don't watch this show because I want to see the competition. No, I couldn't give a rat's ass, because half the time, they're not that good. When we get a good comp, we're like, oh wow, that one was actually watchable. Like, you know how rare that is? I'm not sitting here for the competitions. I'm not like, there are some fun ones, don't get me wrong. Obviously, like, you know, like the pressure cooker, or, you know, the wall's a classic, slip-ins, like things like that. Hide and go veto. But I'm not like, oh, thank God they're doing the fucking Jack the Dipper knockout. No! I don't watch this for the competition. No matter how long in these episode edits that they decide to make the competitions. Like, they seem to think you'll watch this for comps. I couldn't give a rat's ass. I could not care. I watch this show because for the strategy of it all. People playing their way from the bottom to the top. It's like, I'm like, I can't even, like, I'm like so mad. I'm like, I'm getting angry again. It's been like 2 weeks and I'm still pissed. I'm like livid. The whole point of this show is the human relationship of it all. How people use the relationships of the game to move themselves further. How they use social strategy to manipulate other people. How they can connect with people to bring them in even if they're on total opposite sides of the house. The competitions, in my opinion, are kind of like a bonus. Like the power, like the HOH, the veto. Like, that's power, but you don't need that power in this game to do. There have been people who have won no competitions. There are some people who won a couple. But they have made this show so reliant on these competitions lately, and it's fucking ridiculous. Especially when they decide, equitable competitions that everybody can win. No, thank you. Goodbye. Garbage. If you're gonna make your show, at least, like, if you're gonna try to push the competitions, at least make them equitable. There was they just refused. It's like, how do we make this show worse? 25 was horrendous for the comps. They were just like the same comp 5 times over in different variations. It was the same bullshit every fucking time. And then the same people kept winning them. Shocker. That's not equitable. This is so stupid. And so, it's bad enough that they're making, like, the basic powers of the game unattainable for many people. But to now make a competition the sole deciding factor in you staying in the game is like garbage. It's garbage. It's crap. What are we doing? I want to know who thought this was a good idea. And okay, fuck it. Even if you wanted to do the damn hamster wheel, even if you're like, oh my god, the hamster wheel went so well on reindeer games, we should bring it into the main game. You could change it. It doesn't have to be the same elimination. It could be like you want to do 3 fucking noms. Still, even though we're in jury, the blockbuster spoiler still going on at this point. How about this? How about you do the same thing, hamster wheel, somebody save, you do the hamster wheel, pick a person, da-da-da-da-da. But instead of being automatically eliminated, not evicted, let's make that very clear. How about, I don't know, you just make that person who loses the puzzle a 3rd nominee. There you go. And at least then they can still play in the veto. They could do the blockbuster, try to save themselves. They can they can use their social aspects of the game to rally votes, get information, make alliances and deals. Not just, okay, you're gonna do this hamster wheel. If you can't do it, goodbye. What? It's baffling. And then CBS, you think the boardroom at the production, Big Brother Studios, whatever the fuck, those people sit at a table every year and they're like, why? Survivor and The Amazing Race, man, they all are Emmy nominated, have won Emmys. Why haven't we been? Why don't we have an Emmy? Where's our nomination? I wonder where the fucking is. Do your show. Do your show. It's like, I don't, do they, I think they hate this show. I think the people running this show, they must hate it. Because clearly they don't want it to work like how it's supposed to work. Maybe they should quit and go to the challenge if they really want to watch a competition show. Go run the challenge. Don't run my show. This is my show. Don't mess it up. Because it's like so frustrating. It worked for reindeer games because that was the point of reindeer games. It was 6 days. It was an elimination-based competition show. That was the point of it. That was the point of it. You can't just shove that into the main show. That is not how it runs at all. And of all things, to do it day 60 out of day 83 days, you do it day 60. At the beginning of jury. This is the bullshit they usually used to pull, like night 1, when somebody goes home off of some bullshit for no reason. Doing it on day 60 is crazy. It's so stupid. Imagine spending 2 months in this game, working your ass off, making alliances, surviving votes, having to do competitions. So, especially these people in this house who are morons, who don't know shit about anything, who have no game sense, have no common sense, nominate their own allies, send them home, and then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna take one of these people and we're gonna throw them in the garbage. What is wrong with them? What is wrong with them? This is the dumbest shit they've done in a long time. And they do a lot of dumb shit. This takes the cake. And not even going to get onto the bullshit later on in the week. For them to be like, this is the most talked about moment in this show's history. That's not something to be proud of. Don't be proud of this. I'd be embarrassed. They should be embarrassed. Especially with how this ends up. Because this is embarrassing. I have never, ever seen so much rage online in my life. They're lucky people didn't go to that damn studio and throw bricks. I've been out there throwing eggs. They're lucky. They are very lucky. I am sure they got a lot of emails, a lot of calls and complaints. They had to have flooded that studio. They are lucky. People didn't go there with bullhorns, torches, rocks. Because this is some horse shit. This is garbage. And I am not saying this because I'm like, I hate Big Brother. Da, da, da. No. I'm saying this because I love Big Brother. I have been watching this show since I was 13 years old. I am 26. That's half of my life. My first season was 14. This is 27. I remember parts of 13 because my mother's been watching the show since before I was. This isn't something I take lightly. This is literally, especially Big Brother, how it's formatted. 24/7 live feeds, 3 to 4 now episodes a week. This is not just a show. It's Wednesday. And they put it on. I literally have committed so many hours and days of my life to the show. When I was in like high school, this was like summer. It was like nothing. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing Big Brother this summer. This is what we're doing. Me and my sister, we're like, it's Big Brother. It's not summer. It's Big Brother. We would stand on her computer before I even had a computer. We would stand around her computer and just watch the feeds. One of us would check online, but there's a fight. I would both run to her room and open the feeds and just like, what's happening? Or we would stand together and watch the wall come. I wouldn't even have she would have the headphones and like try to turn it so I could hear it. That was our summer. We have dedicated like so much time to this show. I have a whole YouTube channel now talking about this. I love this show. Honestly, the show for a while, I won't lie, was pissing me off. And we know it. The show has its highs and its lows. There was a year of it was rough. That stretch of 19 to 22 truly almost broke me. 20 wasn't as bad as 19, 21, and 22 were. But that shit was diabolical. Persevere, 23, amazing. 24, started off really rough, had its highs and its lows, but then literally Taylor Hill was the whole saving grace for that season. Held me in. 25 almost broke me again. After the way that season went, we started off so high and then we just hit rock bottom to the point where I didn't even give a shit by the finale. I was just like, whatever. I don't care. Even AFP, which usually is like our saving grace, I was even mad about AFP. I was like, are you kidding me? Turn this shit off. So when 26 came around, I'm like, here we go. Here we go. What do we got now? And 26 truly brought me back to like peak I Love Big Brother. Like to the point where I had given up long ago about ever applying to show, partially because of the stupid amount of competitions that determine the game. Let me rephrase that. I didn't apply because I'm not athletic. These competitions have become far too important in the game. And I was like, I can't, especially at 25, I'm like, if I go in the house and there's somebody like Jag in there, I can't outrun this man. I don't do sports. I'm not in, like, fit shape. What's the point? If I'm just not gonna, I could do all the social strategy in the world, but I'm not gonna beat this guy in a foot race. Like, this is the Amazing Race. Like, I'm gonna have to race him to the mat. No. So I was like, forget it. And then 26 fully brought me back because they actually had equitable competitions again. Is it still a little too reliant on competitions in the end game? Sure. Like, I don't think you should base somebody winning off of their competitions. You could win all the competitions in the world, but if you don't do shit with that power, I'm not voting for you. Why would I vote for you to win? No. Like, you have to do something. What you do with the power is more important to me than, okay, you could stack some shit. You can hide something really good. Like, no, that doesn't matter to me. You could unweave some ropes. So, I'm like losing the plot here a little bit. I'm just like spiraling. So to make someone's life in this game based on can you turn a fucking big ass hamster wheel to do a puzzle is some shit. So, I love this show. I don't think I can say that anymore. They need to get their shit together. I don't know if you need to clear house. I don't know if you need to grab the whiteboard, go back to basics, just like, you know what, let's give a break from the twists, okay? No more of this shit. No more blockbuster AI arena. No more tomfoolery. No more bits. Ready for a takeover. Mastermind. Here's like no. Just put them in a house. Let them do the 2 comps a week, and a vote, and we leave it alone. We leave it be. We couldn't even do a double this year because of the stupid blockbuster shit again. Because they dragged it all the way to week 6. Not week 6, to final 7. You are stupid. This show is so stupid sometimes. And I don't want it to be stupid. I want it to be good. I want it to be the best it can be. Because I love this show. So get it together. Because you're pissing me off really bad. And this is just so stupid. It's so stupid. And what pissed me off more is that they didn't need to do it like this at all. Like I said, they could have did it like how make the person lose the hamster wheel nomination. Or if they really wanted, because what they really want is the shock value for good TV of, oh no, somebody's going home. You could have just made this a double. I know you don't have time on the live Thursday shows to do a double because you have the stupid blockbuster nonsense. But this could have been a double too. And the most that would have happened of people being mad was we didn't get to see it on feeds. And that's like a usual Tuesday that's another Tuesday. We're like, oh great, we didn't get to see this on feeds again. They could have had the same concept, White Lotus, trick them again, bring them out thinking they're having chips and of non-alcoholic margarita, and then the mastermind's like, oh, you thought you were safe? Just kidding, we're gonna run a week right now. Bring out Tyler Crispin, have him do the HOH, have him do the veto. Even if you want to do a blockbuster again, I guess, whatever. And then do a vote outside. And I know you can do it outside because we did it in Dire Fest. We did it for Janky World. They were outside. You can run the week outside. They are absolutely capable of doing that. Or you could do like they did after when Janky World was when they did the competitions in the separate rooms inside. Just have them do it outside, have people quickly set up the easy little comp inside, and they could run inside and do that there if you need them to do that. But you are absolutely capable of having all this shit be done outside, so you absolutely could have ran this like a regular double, just not condensed to an hour on a live show. They could have just did this shit within like an hour, real time in the backyard, an hour or two, since you're not live. But no, that's not shock value enough for them. Somebody getting eliminated for nonsense has to be what it is. And that's not the point of the show. I'm sorry, this is me ranting, because I'm really, really, really mad about this. It's just so stupid. They had a million ways they could have done this, and they picked the dumbest possible way on earth to do it. It's just, I really think they hate the show sometimes. I'm like, if you don't like the show you're making, leave it. Leave. And let somebody who actually likes it run this shit. And I promise it'll be 9 million times better than what it is right now. So that is my rant. Let me go back to my stupid little screen, because I could keep going. But I probably won't talk in circles. But don't worry, I will have more to say when we get through this. But we're back. We're back. Now, like, this is just so stupid. Ava is the worst person that could have won this safety. Because she has absolutely no sense of any strategy. Even her own HOH, she was just kind of like, just do whatever. And she took a nap the whole week. She's like, I have no idea what's happening. You're the HOH, you should know what's happening. So she has no clue. Not an ounce. Nothing. You know who does have game sense? Rachel Riley. So Rachel grabs her, drags her to the talk storage room, and Ava is so brave. I'm so glad that she survived having, her arms ripped off her body by Rachel Riley in this moment. She is, such a hero. She's ridiculous. She has bitched about this it's been like 2 weeks and she's still bitching about this. About how Rachel, the way she talked about Rachel dragging her to the storage room, you literally would have thought she fucking grabbed her by her hair, spun her around, and threw her like Mrs. Trunchbull and Matilda. Like she ripped her arm out of her sockets. She grabbed her sleeve and moved and pulled her to the storage room like a normal, like you would trying to rush to talk to somebody like during a double. She's so ridiculous. I really wish these people had more game sense, more common sense, just logic. But no. So Rachel pulls Ava into the storage room? Yes. And God forbid anybody lets anybody talk to somebody in the 10 minutes they get before Ava has to decide who's going to go into the goddamn hamster wheel. Here comes Keanu. This is literally such a shit show. They're all trying to talk to Ava at once. Ava is like cannot comprehend anything. So Ava's like, She's like, I don't even know if she's actually like this or she's trying to play it up because she's agitated that she has to actually be important. Ava is like the definition of accidentally became important at work. Because Ava should not have power for anything. Literally, I would have rather anybody else. Fucking Kelly could have gotten it. Well, actually, maybe not Kelly. But like, little Ava, who doesn't care, is asking for volunteers who wants to go in. And it's shocked when people volunteer. She's like, oh, I didn't think anybody would want to do it. Anybody else. I wish they had picked anybody. Oh my god. Anybody else. Even if, let's say, Keanu actually had one. He had sped up a little bit instead of walking to the button. I feel like at the very least, he would have listened to Rachel explain what the game was to him. Would he have believed her? Who knows? It's Keanu. Anything a woman says doesn't count. So who knows? You would think she would have just listened to Rachel. Rachel, who knows what this game is, know how it runs, knows the strategy, but God forbid, these people are allergic to strategy in this house. Common sense doesn't exist. And the other part I forgot to mention, this shit is the HOH competition too. Fastest time is HOH. This is so dumb. This is even makes it, I forgot all about that. That makes it even more fucking stupid that this competition is what it is. I can't. This show gives me hives. I swear to God, I'm gonna start breaking in hives from stress. Oh my God. And Rachel is very frustrated with Ava, as she should be. Because Ava just doesn't want to listen. Doesn't want to talk game. She literally acts like, to the point where other people, who was it? Morgan wanted to talk to her? And Ava's like, and even Keanu was like, Ava, chill. You know how bad it has to be for Keanu to tell you to chill out? And relax and go talk game? That's crazy. I can't with these people. And so Rachel's trying to get Ava to pick her because she'll be safer, she'll have the most time, and she can start picking, well, Ava doesn't know about the judges, so they can get out, like Keanu or Kelly in this wheel by giving them a very little amount of time to do it. Keanu wants to go first so he can have the most time. It's Keanu. I don't know if he's thinking strategy. He's just thinking about himself. Ava's like, I want Morgan to do it. I think I want Morgan to go. She talks to Morgan. Morgan's like, I don't want to do that. She's like, oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Her logic was pick Morgan because she's like, Keanu and Rachel are doing too much. They're doing too much? They're making waves. They don't want to go home. She is so, like, lackadaisy, does not understand, like, the depth of how serious this is. Like, does not comprehend. Like, I don't know what's wrong with her. Like, why doesn't she get that this is, like, this isn't a light decision you can make. Like, this isn't the knock comp where you could be like, any volunteers? Yeah, go ahead. No. This is so much strategy. But why would Ava Pearl think of strategy? Ava Pearl only thinks of naps. So here comes the Raven's call to signal time's up. 10 minutes flew by. For these people, they think they needed 3 hours to figure this shit out. Especially with Ava having to fucking lead this. Ava gets up. She's like, all right. Everybody's sitting on the couches. She's like, Ava, of course, not taking any of this. She's like, does anybody want to volunteer? Hands go up. Rachel's hands up. Keanu's hands up. Lauren's hand is up. Lauren wants to go as well. And Ava is just looking at them like, literally, she's like this. She's like, I think she's just trying. I could bet $100 that in her head she's doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like, what the fuck? And then, what pisses me off the most, Vince. He is raising his hand, like, when you're trying to pretend that you're volunteering, like, you're like, oh, yeah. Like, he's just trying to, like, say, oh, yeah, I volunteered, I did. But it was like, oh, Vinny, you want to go? And he's like, like, he doesn't really want to go. He's like, oh, you know, Vince. He's like, I don't know, I can do it. My God. So she picks Vince. I really don't know if he actually wanted to do it or if he was just like, I guess I'll kind of raise my hand to look like I'm trying to volunteer. But you know how bad it is when even Keanu Nadir is like, Ava does not get the strategy of this game, and Keanu doesn't get shit in this house. And Keanu gets this more than her. That's bad. That's horrific. That's crazy. So, Vince is gonna go do the wheel. With his 6.5 minutes, he has the most time to do it. Excuse me for my notes. I want to look at I think I wrote down the time. I did not. Never mind. Oh, that's right, because they didn't show us the full times they ran. I was trying to double check what the times were. That's another issue, but we'll get to that later. So, Vince is gonna go run the wheel. And for old time's sake, we get another bickering fight with Rachel and Keanu. Rachel's mad that he tried to run interference when she went to talk to Ava. They're both mad at each other for each other wanting to go first. Like, obviously, you're gonna want to go first if you want the most time. You don't want to. I guess there's a strategy to trying to not play at all. But the problem is, again, with this also being the HOH competition, it matters who gets picked as well, because if somebody that's not good for your game plays the wheel, wins, has the fastest time in his HOH, you're in trouble. And the fact of the matter is that depending on how people do in the wheel, if somebody loses early, you may not even get a chance to play in HOH. Which is also why this shit is so stupid. But I think I've said that 55 times at this point. So Vince runs the wheel. He does it. We didn't actually get to see the full competition play out. They were cutting a lot of it because I think they were trying to keep the suspense of who won HOH for next episode. So we didn't get to see most of the runtime. We just know he finished within that 6.5 minutes. I believe he said he finished it fairly quickly, but then I believe he threw the HOH portion of it. He hung around and waited and then pushed his button to not be HOH. So now we get to the telenovela of this all. Vince is safe. Vince gets to pick the next person. Now, Morgan is so happy Vince won. She's like, okay, great. Vince solved the puzzle. Vince said it's kind of easy. I can do it. Great. He can pick me, and then I can run this wheel, and we're good. If only it were that simple. Because Vince wants to pick Lauren. His other final two. And this was war. This really truly was war. Morgan doesn't trust Lauren. Lauren doesn't trust Morgan. They both want to go next to get as much time as they possibly can. Vince, because he has done absolutely no work in getting these two to work together and has made them enemies, pretty much, has now pitted them against each other devastatingly. And it's not good for him, because now no matter who he picks, he's pissing the other one off severely. And especially with the case of Morgan as well, pissing off their allies. Which is, for Morgan, Rachel Riley, Will, Ashley, pretty much the judge of the alliance. Lauren, you're pissing off what, Kelly? But no. Vince has to decide in his little mind. Lauren, Morgan. But he's telling, I told Lauren I would pick her, blah, blah, blah. Lauren, if you go, will you pick Morgan next? And Lauren's like, I want to pick Kelly next. Great. And Keanu's still trying to get Vince to pick him. Not happening. But he still seems to think that, Vince is his best buddy for life, because God forbid he works with a woman. He only can trust the word of a man. Ugh. Agitating. So annoying. Literally the most frustrating shit ever. So Morgan is crashing out. Lauren is starting to crash out a little. Because she is frustrated with Vince as well, because she wants to pick Kelly if she wins this. But now she's being pressured by Vince that, if I pick you, you have to pick Morgan. And Lauren's like, no, I don't have to. No, he's like, I'm frustrated that I can't make my own decision. Spoiler alert, you can. You can just be like, okay, Vince, I will definitely pick Morgan. It's called lie. Just be like, yeah, I'll pick Morgan. You do the wheel, you're safe, guess what? Pick whoever the fuck you want. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pick Morgan, then pick somebody else. Could've just did that. But no. That'd be too much. Instead, you have to battle back. No, I want to pick Kelly. I guess. I backed in a corner. Now I have to pick Morgan. No, you don't. You literally don't. But regardless, Vince, once his 10 minutes are up, he does pick Lauren, much to the rage of the judges. Rachel is very pissed. So is Ashley. So is Will. Rachel is pretty much pleading with him before this to please pick Morgan. Has no trust in Lauren to keep them safe. Obviously, because they're not working with Lauren. Only Vince's. But he picks Lauren. Lauren has 5.5 minutes to do it. We don't get to see her full run. But Lauren completes it. She's safe from the wheel. Throughout this, Morgan is extremely upset with Vince. I can't believe he would pick her over me. How could he do this to me? Etc., etc. If you know Vince and Morgan, you know how this conversation is. It's the usual, you're picking Lauren over me crash out. That always happens. Now, Lauren still wants to pick Kelly, But because she promised Vince she would pick Morgan, she's like, I guess I'll pick Morgan. She has to tell Morgan, oh, can you pick Kelly next? Just pick Kelly yourself. If you want Kelly to play so bad, just pick her. You're already safe. Just pick her. You can lie in this game. Spoiler alert, you can lie to people. You could have lied to Vince and been like, yeah, I'll put up Morgan. I'll pick Morgan, and then you pick Kelly. Simple. And then Kelly could pick whoever the fuck else to do it in whatever time is next. No. So she picks Morgan, but it's a whole dilemma to get there because she almost doesn't, because she tries to ask Morgan, hey, who are you gonna pick? I want you to pick Kelly. And Morgan just will not give her an answer. And Lauren's like, why would I pick her? She won't even tell me who she's gonna pick. But once again, common sense doesn't exist, so she picks Morgan anyways. Because why not? Oh my god. So Morgan goes in with 4.5 minutes on the clock. And she completes it as well. I believe she finished it fairly early, but it was something along the lines of I don't know if she was deliberately throwing the HH or she fucked up and didn't hit her button and ran the clock quite a bit before she pushed the button. But yeah, Morgan is safe at this point. So now they have to decide who goes next. Now at this point is when Morgan finally tells Lauren, actually I'm picking Rachel. And Vince is trying so hard to hold this shit together for him. He's like, oh, Lauren, wait, but Kelly can Rachel, we could get Rachel to pick Kelly. Kelly can definitely do it in 2.5 minutes. Lauren, livid. Well, should have picked Kelly. Why'd you pick Morgan? Vince doesn't force you to do anything. Just because he wants you to do it doesn't mean you have to. It's your choice. But you chose Morgan for this stupid ass man. Sorry, girly. You reap what you sow. So now Lauren is not happy. Now, Morgan is telling Rachel, Maze isn't that hard. Both Vince and Lauren and Morgan got it done fairly quickly in their time slots. So Rachel will have no problem doing it in 3.5 minutes. Rachel is very stressed. Rachel doesn't seem as convinced that she can do it in this small of a time frame. Is still mad at, Ava for picking Vince, or Vince for picking Lauren of all people. And of course, you know who else is mad? As always, Keanu. Keanu's mad he hasn't been picked yet. Thinks he's gonna be cooked whenever he gets a chance to do it. So Rachel goes out to the backyard where the wheel is with Tyler Crispin. And she makes her run. While these people are inside blabbing about who Rachel's picking, about Kelly doing it in 2 minutes. Now, if you watch reindeer games, you will know. Time ultimately matters, but it also doesn't. Because everybody's skill set is different. On reindeer games, Frankie, I believe, was the first to go. He finished it fairly quickly in his 5.5 minutes. Xavier was next to go. He had 4.5 minutes, and he barely finished it in that time frame. I believe he had like 15 seconds on the clock when he hit his button. So when Brittany goes in after Xavier, she assumes she's not going to do this, that she's done for. But she finishes it in 2 minutes and is like shocked. They're all shocked. Brittany sends in Danielle Reyes, who has 2.5 minutes to do it, and she does not do it. Everybody, the clock matters, but it doesn't. Because if you just aren't good at mazes, if you're not good at turning this big ass, heavy ass hamster wheel, that's also a problem. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses in the game, which is why going home should not be determined on a single competition. Like, I can probably do some puzzles fine, no problem. I can't run faster than people. It's not like a foot race is gonna be my strongest suit. So if something is dependent on me running, I wouldn't win. And it shouldn't be reliant on a single competition that some people are good at, some aren't. Everybody has different skill sets. Everybody can do things faster than others. That's just how life is with shit. Anything. People are good at things, people aren't. And also, the 3 people who went before Rachel: Vince, former college athlete; Lauren, young 22 athletic dancer; Morgan, former Division 1 track athlete, very in shape. All 3, like, they're very athletic people. Not to say Rachel Riley is not athletic. You know, she's been working out all season. She's good in shape. They're also all much younger than Rachel. Not much. Lauren is much younger than Rachel, but Vince and I'm blank. Why did I almost say Kelly? Morgan are in their early, kind of mid-30s. Rachel is 40, has 2 children. She's not, she's not a track athlete. So she's not gonna be in the same physical capabilities as they would be. I feel this is so mean to Rachel, but I'm just being real. I couldn't do this. They'd be like, oh, she's young. No, that doesn't mean anything. Look at me. I'm not. If a wheel's heavy, I'm not gonna be able to do that shit. And you don't know people's I have back problems. I can't I'm not gonna be able to run backwards and move a heavy ass wheel. No, not everybody can do that. And plus, you're trying to figure out the puzzle of it all as well. If you're not good at mazes, you're in trouble. I solve mazes from the inside out. Like, I start in the middle at the end point and work my way out for a maze. I can't do that with the little clinky thing. I have to do it the opposite way, and I don't know how I would do that. So Rachel is struggling. Rachel, I believe, when people were looking at it, she had kind of gone backwards. Tyler Crispin talked about this as well in his interview with Sharon, how she had kind of gone the wrong way and just could not get the grasp. Like, it just getting grasp of the motion of the wheel, the actual maze itself, to get it to go the correct direction. So she was stuck pretty much the entire time on the outside portion of the maze. I don't even want to say it, because it still makes me sick. Rachel Riley. Rachel Riley. Big Brother 12 jury member. Winner of Big Brother 13. Star of several shows. Snake in the Grass. Worst Cooks in America. The Traitors. The heart and soul of Big Brother 27. The person in the best position, with the most game sense, who's put in the most work of anybody this season, no matter how much casuals think. Third time playing, clearly in a front runner of the show to be the first 2-time winner of Big Brother in history. Rachel Riley cannot turn a hamster wheel and do the maze. Rachel Riley is out. Horseshit! No. I can't hold the sign. No! This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. This makes me sick. I genuinely am sick seeing her picture gray. And it's been 2 weeks since this happened? Looking at it now makes me depressed. doing the graphics for this made me depressed and sad and angry and every like emotion on earth. Everything I said before about this twist, bring that back to here and add in the fact that these stupid goddamn idiots at CBS, these freaking people, whoever planned this stupid ass twist, not one of you considered the 1 in 9 chance that Rachel Riley, the star of your goddamn show, would go home in your stupid twist. Nobody thought about that? Or at the very least, you thought about it and didn't give a shit? Clearly, they didn't think this was how it's gonna go. Clearly. And you know, we know that for a fact. After that Thursday night episode, when they first teased this stupid bullshit, they had several people online, Sharon Tharp, Chelsea, a lot of people tease. Oh boy, feeds tomorrow are gonna be crazy. Implying that the feeds were gonna be on Friday. That they were gonna come back on after this shit. They didn't come back on till midnight after Unlocked aired that Friday night. 31 hours down. Because these people were fighting for their lives in that damn studio lot. They knew the moment they turned those feeds on, it was like a nuke was gonna drop in the Big Brother universe. And they were correct. Now, people love to say online, oh, you're just mad because it was Rachel that went home. First of all, hell yeah, I am mad that Rachel went home because of this. And two, I would have been regardless of who went home because this was some horse shit. Would I have been as personally livid and devastated if it was like Kelly? No. No. Because I don't give a shit about Kelly. Who I give a shit about is Rachel Riley. Rachel Riley, their SAR alumni, previous winner, literally has a whole marriage and children because of this show. Who has been the star of their episodes, the center point of multiple storylines, her versus Vince, her versus Keanu, her being fucking Rachel Riley, the possible 2-time winner of this show. And they just didn't think for 1 second, what if this twist goes wrong and Rachel goes home? What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Like, somebody had to have mentioned it. What happens if we fuck up and Rachel goes? And you know, some bigwig in a suit in a boardroom was like, what are the odds of that? What? There's 9 people who could play. She'll be alright. You know that had to have happened. They were like, there's no way. And then they watched her on those feeds, on their camera feeds, fail that puzzle. And were gooped and yeah. And I know they were, because during Tyler's interview with Sharon Tharp, he said when Rachel lost the puzzle, he had his earpiece in where the production could feed him lines. Silent. He said they didn't say a word. Because I know the sirens were going off in that office. They were making calls. I don't know what time it was there. They were calling every person. We have a problem. Rachel's out. Rachel fucked up the stupid maniacal wheel? The maniacal maze? I don't give a shit. The hamster wheel. Rachel lost it. What do we do? We're supposed to turn the feeds on back in the morning. And they're like, just leave them off. Just leave the feeds off. Don't turn them on. The only reason the feeds were off that day was because they knew the moment those feeds came on and we saw Rachel Riley was not in the house, that it was going to be hell on earth. And it was. The second the feeds came on and we figured out it was Rachel that was gone, it was like the world was on fire. You know what? Hold on. I'm talking here. I'm here again. Because I was livid. Everybody was livid. I have never seen so many alumni ready to go to war. Not people writing novels. People are yelling in chat BCC. People are yelling on every thing of a platform. Everybody's yelling there. People are pissed. People are crying. I was crying. I filmed a video that night, and I finished. I believe it was my week 7 video. I finished filming 11:59 p.m. Hit the dot. Closed out my filming thing. I already had the feeds on in the background. I just stared at it waiting. The feeds came up. I believe it was like first people on the feeds immediately in the backyard were, it was like Will, Ashley, Ava, and the other side of the feeds was Morgan and Vince in bed. Wait, Morgan crying. So we figured Morgan was on the block. And so we're trying to do math. We see Kelly walk across the backyard. We're like, okay, it's just Keanu, Lauren, and Rachel who have not been seen on the feeds yet. And then we hear, like, we're picking up the conversations that are happening for like 10 minutes. They're not on the screen. People are realizing, I think they're talking about Keanu. I think they're talking about Lauren. Nobody's mentioned Rachel. I think it's Rachel. And I'm like, I refuse to believe it. I think this was almost quarter after at this point. I believe Hamster Watch did tweet or post. But he not tweet. Blue Sky post. Skeet? Is that what? Yeah, Skeet. I'm like blank. I'm like so mad that I can't even like think. I'm like full of rage again. Every time I think about this, I get mad. So I'm like, I can't think straight. Hamster Watch tweet. I keep saying tweet. Posted it. Whatever. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, no. And Hamster Watch is pretty much never. Hamster Watch is like the source. And I'm like, I'm gonna live in delusion. I'm living in delusion until I physically see everybody on the feeds. And they call Morgan to the diary room. She gets up out of bed with Vince to the upstairs diary room. So she has to do the loop through the kitchen. The feeds cut following her to the kitchen. And in the kitchen, Keanu is sitting in the chair. Lauren is in the kitchen, standing there, wiping the counter down. And I literally start crying. I'm like about to cry right now. I was so upset. Because obviously, I'm like about to cry right now. It's just so crap. Of all people, this is the way Rachel goes. Like, just to toss her out the window. Be like, okay, you can't do this maze, so you're gone. Is just unbelievable. I would have been upset if she had been regularly evicted. But it's one thing to watch somebody, spend the week playing in the veto, doing the stupid blockbuster, pitching to people to get their votes, and it doesn't go their way. At that, I would have just been mad that these people have no game sense. But then also, when I'm like, okay, yeah, it's the smart move to get rid of Rachel because she's Rachel Riley. But for her to just go with not even a chance, besides she couldn't figure out a maze puzzle, it's just so stupid. It's ridiculous. I truly 1000% believe she was going to win this whole season. I fully believe it. Even though those people in the house were crazy, they think they were. She is such a fighter. I fully 100% could see her winning the whole thing. And for her to just make me go, I'm like trying not to cry again. It was like so. It's like so bad. I'm like clearly I still can't even really believe it. Like it doesn't even. Ugh, I'm sorry. It was just so horrible. And like, I don't think any of them deserve to go that way. But for it to be Rachel, I think was just like so insulting to Rachel Riley and the game she's played. And she was playing so well. Like she clearly, compare the games she played in 12 and 13 to her game now. Light years difference. The growth from 15 years ago, she was doing phenomenally. She had to deal with these crazy bitches in this house. and she was making it. She was making it work. She found her footing. She was fighting her way from the bottom for so many times. She had so many allies evicted for nonsense. And she was making it work. She had a new alliance. They were going to go through this endgame and run circles around these people. And she can't do a maze. So she's gone. It's like so insulting. And based off the reaction of the alumni, clearly it shows that producers don't give a shit about them being in the game, because you're willing to risk your sole alumni starve the season because you want some shock value. You want someone to go home for a fun little twist because you think it's so cool, so quirky. If they manage to get any alumni back after this, I would be amazed. They're gonna have to put in a lot of work to gain the trust of those people, because I wouldn't trust them if they tried to invite me back. I'd be like, okay, and are you gonna make sure? Is there a chance that I'm gonna go home because of a fucking puzzle I can't do? Why would I come back for that? And Rachel Riley is better than me, because I would have ripped that set apart. But she's very upset. Tyler said in the interview, let me go back to my other screen now that I'm done ranting and crying. I might cry again, but you never know. Tyler said that he had to console her for like 20 minutes. And honestly, thank God Tyler Crispin was there, because at least he had somebody who understood. You know, he's a 2-time player himself. He made it to Final 2. He's been evicted as well in All-Stars. So he gets it. He gets the emotion she's feeling. And she tells him, she's crying to him. She's like, these people just don't listen to me. I tried to tell them, and they just didn't listen to me. And now look what happened. It's just so devastating. But she's better than me. She has so much grace and professionalism, because I would have ripped that damn wheel off the fucking hinges and thrown that shit across into the pool. Chima would have looked like nothing. I would have broken every window in that damn backyard. They would have hated to see me coming if I was her, to go out like that. But she is grace personified, clearly. So Rachel's devastated, and even Tyler Crispin is in shock as this is happening. There's a great shot of when Rachel loses and she falls, like she gets to the ground, and you see Tyler just go, oh. Tyler's like, oh my God. You could clearly see Tyler's like, and Tyler has to announce that, hey, Rachel Riley, queen of Big Brother, you're going home off this bullshit. And he's like, he clearly doesn't want to do this shit. I'm like, poor Tyler Crispin. And honestly, I now feel bad. You make me feel bad for Tyler Crispin. I was not a fan of him on 20. That's because I was rooting for Hive, for Faute. But yeah, they have to announce to the house, Rachel has been sacrificed, and they are so gagged. It's nobody clear. They all were so confident that Rachel was going to do this. I don't think a single one of them even thought that she wasn't going to do it. The looks on their faces, every single person is jaw dropped. That shot when they announce and they say sacrifice and on Will, and Will literally turns around and look at Ava like, and they all just run. Kelly and Vince are screaming like, what? No. Ashley's holding a bundle of clothes. Like, everybody clearly like freeze frame, like record like stops, like nobody expects this. And another part of this was that's so stupid. This is now so unfair for them, because to take out Rachel about people like this, Rachel is Rachel fucking Riley. For these other house guests, for them, like in the endgame, to have taken out Rachel Riley would have been the resume move of the summer for any of them. If any of them got Rachel out of the game, That was like a game-winning move. And now that move is plucked and just fucking thrown in the trash. Nobody gets that now. Now it's just Rachel couldn't do the puzzle. Now what the hell move can we do? Who's our next Keanu, I guess. Vince, I guess. Like that's the big move. That is the big move. Taking out the front runner, the previous winner, only alumni of the season. The 17th person. I got her out. I put in the work. I put her up. I got her out. That move is gone. Nobody can claim that now. And it's just so unfair to them. Nobody gets a chance to have that move on their resume. And I know they're probably not thinking about that because people don't think of game things like that. But they're just so shocked. I mean, they go when they are able to go out to her. They're like clearly like in shock. Kind of like they can't even believe it. Poor Ashley is just like hyperventilating. She even said like she was like dry heaving. They don't show it. Maybe it was in the house before they brought her out. But like it's a mess. It's so upsetting. It's just so upsetting. So Rachel, she has to leave. She tells these people who are like in shock. The only person who seems like remotely happy is Kelly. But that's Kelly. I don't give a shit about Kelly. Rachel gives them, I think, an incredible speech. Which makes me so upset. Can you imagine her final 2 speech? Oh my god. It would have been so good. That's her speech if I would have been so, oh my god. But she gives them the speech. Not even like it's like a warning. She's like, listen, bitch. She doesn't say that. But she tells them pretty much like, if you think you can just coast your way to final 2 and win, you're out of your goddamn minds. You people need to get a grip, get up there and fight. Make moves. Get some blood on your hands. You need to play and play hard. You can't just lollygag and think you can win because people like you. She's like, that's not how I'm voting, and that's how. And you know Rachel Riley. She is relentless in the best way. She is not gonna let those people in the jury house rest. Especially being the first juror, you really set the tone for the house. So I know everybody who's gone into that jury house so far, she's running those people like the Navy. If you think you could just sit in the jury house and sing Kumbaya, no. I know she has them in lock. I know she has strategy talk going all the time about how are people's games going. What do we think? When she's correct, that's how it should be. You can't just, I know likability plays a factor in this as well. It's a big thing in jury management. You can't make people hate you and they're not going to vote for you in the end. You just also can't do nothing. You can't just go up there and be like, I didn't do anything. Or at least if you can, explain yourself. Explain the way that you what you've done. Or what you didn't do. How you come up with that. But yeah. Rachel has to leave. And in true Rachel Riley fashion, she's like, clap because the legend is leaving. And I would have done a fucking salute. I swear to God. If I was them. I'd have been like, girl, take me with you. Because I'm not staying with these crazy bitch. But yeah, Rachel is gone. And I'm very sad. And the stupid ass mastermind is like, oh, Rachel left. Kind of a bummer. Anyways, more shit's coming in this month of mayhem. Bye. And that's also what the houseguests are afraid of. Let me say something. This week on feeds, I'm amazed they had anything for episodes, the Wednesday and Thursday night episodes. These feeds were so dead for a good chunk of this week. Literally, nobody gave a fuck in that house. They're like, what's the point? What's the point of strategy? What's the point of trying to figure anything out? Because what if we all just get taken out in some bullshit? There's no point in talking game because I could do I can't stack some cups and I could go home. It's a miracle that they had anything to use. But yeah, the week has to go on. So they don't even show in Sharon's interview with Tyler, he said I'm sure they're gonna show more of the wheel competition from Vince, Morgan, and Lauren, so you could see how they finished the competition and how they won or whoever won HOH did it, the times and stuff. No, they don't show any of that. Why would they? They're like, oh, Lauren won. Why would they show the times or anything? They're just like, yeah, Lauren won. Lauren HOH. When that happened, I was like, oh, Tyler was wrong. They didn't show any more of it. It's just like, oh yeah, she won. Which is not a shock because only the three of them got to technically play in HOH, and Morgan fucked it up, Vince threw it. What the hell? Sure. I can't. I'm like... But yeah, Lauren is our new HOH. Fun. But you know who this is not fun for? Morgan. Because Morgan is pissed. Morgan is like, Vince, if fucking Vince had just picked me, Lauren would not be HOH right now. Rachel would still be here because I would have given her, she would have extra time to do it. So she's pissed. And fucking Vince. Honestly, this whole drama this season with Vince in the middle of Morgan and Lauren is Vince's own fault. Vince could have made this shit so much easier for himself if he had just put in, I don't know, an ounce of work into actually getting these two to be aligned the whole season. But no. Instead, when he's with one and the other, he just spends the entire time, so much time complaining about the other person to them that they're now against each other. And now he's trying to, this 60 days in, trying to get them to work together. And clearly, that's not going to work if you spent the past 2 months ragging on one to the other. Dumbass. But where's the fun in that, I guess? Where's the fun in good game strategy? But yeah, Morgan's pissed. Morgan is so upset that he picked Lauren over her. And Vince is like, well, I always pick Morgan, so I have to pick Lauren sometimes. I've only burnt her 3 times in this game, so I have to pick her this time. And Lauren should not be putting up with this shit. I'm sorry. I don't know why she was so reliant on Vince at this point. Because Vince has done nothing for you but make your life harder. I would have ditched that man the first time he burned me. Why keep trying with this man who clearly is not going to keep picking you when Morgan is there? Also, the problem now, them being pitted against each other. But it's just these people. But anyways, Vince is talking to Lauren about her noms. Because Lauren has to have input from Vince. Immediately out the gate, she's not putting up Vince, she's not putting up Ava or Kelly. Which is, looking at this screen, cuts the field in half of options to go on the block. Pretty much leaving you with your 3 noms and your 1 renom option. Now, she is coming after Morgan this week because she thinks Morgan is influencing Vince. Now, is Morgan running circles around Vince? Yes. But he has no backbone, so that's kind of his own fault. Oh well. But yeah, she's coming after Morgan. She wants to make a big move. Because, Final 2's, they're getting closer and closer to the end game. So her goal is to get big targets this week so she can actually have a big game move to discuss at Final 2. Because right now, she has only had one other HOH and she took out Adrian. who she was aligned with. So the resume's not looking good. So her goal for the end of the week is to have in the final chairs Keanu and Morgan. Because that way she's guaranteed a big person goes home. Now, the main concern is, Keanu. Keanu could win Vito, and he's very capable. He could win he could win Keanu. He could win Vito or Blockbuster. He's done it before. He could do it again. At this point, Morgan has no wins. But she is a strong competitor. She's a very manipulative, in Lauren's eyes, person on Vince. So that's where Lauren's mind is at. Now, the judges are like, well, we're cooked. Mostly just pretty much Will and Ashley. Well, Morgan is aware as well that she's probably going to go up on Lauren's HOH. But Will and Ashley are like, well, so much for that. Because they're like, one of us has probably going to be going. Because they know as well who she's not going to put. Lauren's not going to put up Ava, Kelly, and Vince. So, like, it's going to be one of us. We're in danger, girl. Ay. Now, they have a couple of segments here and there. They have, honestly, a kind of funny. They with this one thing. Edit of the frenemies of this sad music overlays of the scenes of Rachel and Keanu fighting while Keanu was staring at Rachel on the memory wall like, this wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be me and you at the end. I don't want to beat them. I want to beat you. The only time I've liked Keanu, I'm like, that was actually pretty good. But yeah. And Ava pisses me off this episode as well. Because, let me tell you something. She's been pissing me off in general. Because Ava, I think she must have felt bad for not picking Rachel and Rachel going home. But instead of feeling bad about it, she's like, how do I make myself not feel bad? I don't know. How about hard pivoting and just ragging on Rachel until the end of time? She's like, actually, Rachel's a fucking idiot. Rachel sucks. Rachel's stupid. Rachel sent herself home. She couldn't figure out the puzzle. Maybe she shouldn't have dragged my arm. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. Literally, and she's probably still doing that now. She could be on the feeds right now doing that. The fuck is wrong with her? I don't even lean in for that. What is wrong with her? If people try to justify their actions in so many interesting ways and hard pivoting into actually I fucking hate Rachel and she's a loser and all this shit, not the move. Really stupid, especially when it kind of is your fault. Why would you pick Vince? You're not working with Vince. You don't like. It's not like Rachel wanted her to pick Rachel. And Ava picked Vince because, like, oh, Vince is my final two. I trust Vince so much. Me and Vince are so closely aligned. She's not. She doesn't even like Vince. She just picked him because. Just because. She was mad at Rachel. It's not like she picked Will or Lauren or Kelly. Somebody she likes and is working with. That at least would have made some sense. In a way. Like, okay, at least this is a person you are actively working with. Or like. She don't even like Vince. So to pick Vince to go first, to make him the most safe person, is so stupid. And to hard pivot to blame Rachel is so dumb. It's idiotic. And it really, really, really shows her true colors, in my personal opinion. And put that on the record. Let the record show that she's an idiot. Frame that. Ava Pearl, moron. Ava Pearl doesn't get Big Brother. Why is she here? Who is casting these people? Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, that was a personal rant I had to get out. Because I'm annoyed. It's still pissing me off. To this day that she's still doing that. But whatever. Now, Keanu also has a conversation with Lauren about the nominations. He is pushing, for Morgan as well to go up on the block. Now, like Rachel had told Keanu weeks ago, or on his last last week, put up Lauren. Lauren doesn't have your back like you think she does. Lauren is going to target you. You need to put up Lauren and get her out. Unfortunately for Rachel, she is a woman, so Keanu does not hear or believe an ounce of the words she is saying. So he didn't listen to her. So now he is talking to Lauren like, yay, you should put up Morgan. We can get her out because she's, Vince will free up, da-da-da. And Lauren is in the diary room like, I kind of want to put up Keanu, so... If only he had listened to Rachel. But why would he listen to a woman? Maybe Rachel should have told it to Vince, who would have told it to her. But Vince wouldn't have did that. Oh well. It's so frustrating. I want to scream. It's so annoying. Ugh. But yeah. Whatever. Unbelievable. We get to the nomination ceremony, and wow, who is shocked by the noms? It's Morgan, Ashley, and Will. Who's shocked? Not me. Not Ashley or Will. Morgan is actually shocked. Morgan is extremely upset that she's on the block on Lauren's HOH. This is the whole week. This is so much of the week. I can't. I really can't. The crash out. When the feeds came on, that fateful night, Morgan was sobbing in bed to Vince about how she's gonna go home because Lauren put her up. Literally, the crash out is hard. And Vince telling her, she's gonna backdoor Keanu. First of all, you can't backdoor somebody with this blockbuster twist. Not what a backdoor is. Superfan. Self-proclaimed superfan. She's gonna backdoor him. You can't backdoor somebody. Backdoor means they didn't get a chance to play in veto. They didn't get a chance to save themselves. You put them on the block and they go home. Not a backdoor. Thank you. Now, Vince is trying to promise her the world. Oh, Keanu's gonna be the renom. Oh, you're not the target. Oh, if I win veto, I'll use it on you. And meanwhile he's in the diary room like, well, if I win veto and use it on Morgan, Lauren's gonna be upset. It's almost as if you had a way to prevent this. Like, I don't know, managing your relationships with them better and managing the relationship between the two of them better and making them both allies. But instead, you've shot yourself in the foot. You now have made your two number twos enemies. What is wrong with these people? Listen. I get a lot of people have not watched the show or have barely watched any of it. Vince says he has watched, at the very least, from season 16 on. You should know better. At the very minimum, if you watched last season, you can see how Chelsea had two final twos, one with Cam, one with Mackenzie, and instead of, being an idiot and pitting them against each other, oh my god, I can't speak, and making them enemies who are trying to take each other out, and you are in the middle, she actually had a brain cell that worked and made her two final twos come together and be a trio that work together. And then that way, when they made it to final 3 together, she was guaranteed, no matter what, that they were both going to take her because they were working together, all 3 of them, but she was still their number 1 allies in their own eyes. It's really not this hard to get people to like work together. And if he had just spent like an ounce of time instead of like going to Morgan and being like, Lauren's doing this, blah blah blah, she's so annoying, blah blah blah, and then complaining to Lauren about Morgan, and like just put them together. And then trying to do that day 60 is not gonna work. He have been putting the work in for weeks if it was clearly gonna be this hard to get them to work together. It's just so stupid. It's so dumb. It is so just, I don't even know what to say anymore like about this game, because these people literally have no common sense. Like, it really should not be this complicated. This could have been very easy for Vince if he had just gotten them together. They wouldn't be nominated on each other's HOHs. But he's dumb. So that sucks for him. Makes his life significantly harder in this game. And just guarantees he is going to piss off one of his alliances every single week without fail. Which is not a way to play the game. Not a smart way, at least. Oh my god. I don't know. These people are just like driving me nuts. Lauren thinks that Vince could take Morgan down with the veto. That is a concern of hers. Lauren also won't tell Morgan that she would take her down because, Vince told her, she's planning on backdooring Keanu, which means she would want the veto to be used. But when Morgan has her one-on-one with her, Lauren won't give her an answer. Which is not good. Doesn't bode well for her, clearly. Obviously, because Lauren would rather target Morgan. Even though she does want Keanu on the block, so she should want the veto to be used. Ay. But yeah, she pretty much lets the nominees know that, I probably, at least Ashley will kind of like get the sense of like, okay, Keanu's probably going to go up. Now, getting to the veto. The veto draw, obviously we have our obvious players, Lauren, Ashley, Will, Morgan. Vince is picked by Morgan, houseguest choice. Then Ava is drawn. So Kelly and Keanu are not playing in the veto. So very solid chance that the veto is going to be used. I mean, looking at the board here, obviously Ashley and Morgan would use it on themselves. Vince, in Morgan's eyes, would use it on her. Ava likely to use it on either Will or Ashley, as she's also close with them, as she says in the diagram as well. Now this week is BB Comics, a classic. I don't need to explain the BB Comics, but TLDR, they got a zip line by a window. Look in. There's all comics one for each person lined up. They have to spot the order that they're all in, make sure with their own copies out here that they're in the same order, and find the difference between the real one and the counterfeit bootleg one. So it's not super. Honestly, I don't think BB Comics is super hard. I think the hardest part probably is the zipline aspect of it, of trying to look through that damn window. But their comics this year, let me tell you something. Some of them, I'm like, how did they pick? Who made this decision? Because they were really scraping at the bottom of the barrel for a lot of these comics. Like, some of them are so nothing. Catherine's is about her nose ring. You had nothing else for Catherine. Damn. Like, Riley's is like a cowboy, like Billy the Kid style. Lauren is Bayou Batty. They're like, she's from Louisiana. They could have made some good ones. They could have, I don't know. Shit, made her the iPad kid, stand at the TV screen every conversation. Uh, they could have done about her like being indecisive. They could have did a lot of things. Especially, they do this every year. Every time somebody has a costume, regardless of what they give in the house, if they're extremely boring or crazy, uncontrollable maniac, your costume is your comic. That's so lazy. They did that last year with Angela. Angela had the most material on planet Earth they could have used for her comic, and they gave her costume. At least Keanu and Vince are, Butler and the hard-boiled detective. Keanu kind of works if it's more of his vibe. They could have done the world with Vince. They could have done so much with Vince. He gave them material for days. They could have cooked something up good. It should have been about him whining, crying, crashing out. Something. And they're like, he's gonna be the egg. Whatever, I guess. And then Ava's is like about her like hippie clothes. Ashley's about her damn shower from episode 2. Like, these comics, I know it's not the artists that come up with this, it's production. They just give them nothing. Like, there was so much they could have done. And they're like, what do we got? Like, Kelly's was peanut butter and Kelly. That has nothing to do with anything. That has nothing to do with shit about Kelly. They're just like, Kelly runs a jelly, make her a sandwich. Kelly could give them plenty of material. They could have did a lot with her. Her crazy ass Kelly, you have plenty you could do with Kelly. And then they made her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Great. Part of me, if I ever go to Big Brother, part of me is like, I would want to do like a punishment costume. It'd be fun, it's Big Brother, it's fun. But then it's like, that's your whole comic. I don't want what if I do something, I don't want my comic to be the fucking like, Jag was fucking Cockadoodle Zoom. Like, you could have did, like, I hate when they do that. It drives me nuts. That's like my rant. Like, this video is the video of ranting. Be better with comics. Be creative. I know some of these people, I know Lauren doesn't give you much. But come on. Like, she's from Louisiana. Put her in the swamps. Put her in the bayou. They're like, Catherine has a nose ring. You couldn't find a single thing about Catherine besides her nose ring. Anything. They made Amy the crybaby. I get Amy was like the second boo, so you're not working with much. That should have gone to Vince. But no. They need their costume. And listen, I love Vince's costume. I think it was like so funny. Put him in the egg costume and make him cry. Like, mix it up. Do something. But whatever. Now, speaking of Vince, he is lying in this damn diary room, this whole competition. Talking about, oh, I really want to win this and save Morgan, blah, blah, blah. This man is moving so slow. He is so obviously throwing this to the point my parents, who are casuals, can tell he's throwing. They're like, he's not trying to win this. Like, this, he has to be throwing it because he is walking, going very, very slow. He's holding up the comics like, oh, wow, guys, look at this one has a must, and this one has and the difference between move. And then he's in the diary room trying to lie to us that he's trying to win this. Liar. Play that clip of Kourtney Kardashian yelling at not Kourtney, Khloe, being like, liar. I'm like, don't lie to us. And that I hate when people lie to us in the diary room. You're supposed to be real there. Don't lie to me. They do this a lot this season. You're sick. Don't lie to me. And at least if you're gonna lie, at least make it convincing. Unbelievable. You know who is actually trying to win? Morgan. Morgan, let me tell you, cooking. She is flying through that comp. Ashley's trying to move quick, moving. Oh my god, Ashley's moving pretty fast as well. But Morgan hauling so much ass. That woman is cranking this competition. She's running. She's jumping off the thing. Vince was riding the zip line all the way to the end of the line. Morgan dropped the second she looked out she saw the window. She dropped when she was done looking. Like, don't waste time slowly rolling to the very edge of the zip line. Vince went back, by the way. He had the puzzle done. He's like, let me do one last look. You fucking idiot. You're so throwing. Don't lie to me in the dining room. Ugh. But Morgan is flying. And you know who else is flying? Lauren. Lauren is flying through this comp. Lauren says, if I win this veto, then I have to show my cards here. I don't want to do that. What if I just let somebody else win it and hope that a nominee comes down so that I could put up Keanu without looking like I'm deliberately targeting Keanu? What? No. You're the HOH. Just target him. Win it. Win all the power in the week. Take somebody down. Put Keanu up. It's that simple. We're in the jury phase at this point. It's final 8. And you're still playing scared. What are we doing? What are we doing? So Lauren just kind of stands there for a bit. And then hits her button to stop. We get the top 3 placers. Ashley finished it with about 20 minutes. Lauren is second place with 13 something. First place, about 13 minutes. First place is 12 minutes 30 seconds. Lauren literally would have won this competition had she not just stood there like a lump on a log trying to throw this. And you could clearly tell Vince was throwing. He didn't even make top 3. He's trying to win, but he couldn't go more than 20 minutes. Ashley did 20 minutes and was top 3. Will and Ava. Will hurt his knee probably did faster than than Vince. But yeah, we get our top placer. Who's shocked? Not me. Because she was cranking and running that comp. Her first win. Morgan gets the veto. Good for her. Good for her. So now Lauren's plan for this week is already out the window because she wanted both Morgan and Keanu on the block so she could guarantee a big nominee. A big person goes home. Well, at least she could get Keanu up now. And so it's pretty much locked by everybody in the house that, okay, so Morgan's gonna come down and Lauren's gonna put up Keanu. Except to Keanu. Keanu doesn't realize that. Kelly has to be able to tell them, hey, so it's kind of the house consensus that you're the renom. And he's very confused, very shocked, like, what, me? Why would you put up me? That doesn't make any sense. If only somebody had told you this before. Somebody who told you, hey, you might want to put up Lauren because Lauren's going to target you. Who would have said that? Rachel Riley, who is so smart, and this man refused to listen to her. I can't. I just want to scream. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. And then Keanu, brilliant plan of his, he's like, what if I instead of me going up? What if Vince is the renom? What if Vince goes up? And he's saying this to Vince. Hey Vince, why don't you just I don't know, volunteer to go on the block instead of me? It's final 8. He's out of his mind. Nobody's crazy enough to volunteer unless you're Kelly. If somebody said it to me, Vince, I would have just laughed. And I'm like, huh, you're stupid. That's dumb. I'm not doing that. No. Obviously, Vince isn't going to do that. Especially Keanu pitches this to Lauren. Lauren's not going to do that either. So who's shocked? To the veto meeting. Surprise, surprise, y'all. Keanu's on the block. Who's shocked? Not me. Not me. So, everyone pretty much is certain if Keanu's on the block on Thursday night, he's going home. He's going home. The main toss-up is if it's Keanu winning the blockbuster, Ashley versus Will on the block. And something that pisses me off about this, the way they edited this, they did not at all. They didn't show a majority of the work that Ashley put in this week to keep herself safe. She went to work for days to guarantee that to make sure she had the votes against Will. I think they showed her talking to Keanu when they made the deal with each other so that they would vote to keep each other if they were on the block and one was safe. They didn't show anything beyond that. They are criminally under-editing her gameplay in this season. I think it's ridiculous. But she put in so much work to be safe. And they're like, what if we just don't show any of it? Why? But whatever, why would that matter? Why would that matter? Ugh. But yeah. I can't. I'm so, these people are driving me nuts. The show is driving me nuts. I love the show, but I hate the show sometimes. And of course, the telenovela continues. Because Vince is spending too much time with Lauren. I'm so sorry I whacked the shit out of that. They're like, Lauren has no backbone. Lauren is just doing whatever Vince tells her to do. Ay. Not good for Lauren. Not good for Lauren at all. I don't know how in the end game she would have won this shit. I really don't see how that would have happened. And when she talks to Keanu after she renoms him, she's crying. I feel really bad about this. You had options. I see. If you're the HOH and you're crying to me about putting me on the block, what? No, I'm not gonna feel bad for you because you nominated me. I'm the one that could go home this week. You're out of your goddamn mind if you think I'm gonna be like, oh, it's okay. I'd be like, what are you crying for? Obviously, you can't say it like that to the HOH because you're on the block. You could go home. But I'd be like, why are you crying? I should be crying at you. But no. I can't. Lauren also would not have this problem if she had just, I don't know, won the veto and didn't throw it. She could have taken down Ashley or Will, put up Keanu, and guaranteed at least one of them would have been on the block. But no. We could just throw vetoes and then have Keanu be mad at us. And Keanu is crazy. He says, he's like, why would you put me up? He's like, I'm the person you have, the best game relationship with. I want to know what world this man lives in, because it's not reality. That's for damn sure. He is not living on this earth. He's living somewhere else entirely. In what world are you the person that has the best game relationship with Lauren? In what reality is that? Because it's not this one. It's not. He said that and I almost laughed. I literally I was like, I can't believe he just said that. Because what are you talking about? What are you on? Fantasyland. Now, at this point in our Thursday episode, Big Brother decided, what if we just piss people off even more? Because they announced earlier in the week, oh, don't worry guys, after the White Locust nonsense happened, don't worry guys, on Thursday we're going to talk with Rachel. Julie's just going to come talk to Julie. This interview was crap. It was pretty much like, hey Rachel, how did you fuck this up for yourself? And how is it not our fault? Like, I literally was sitting there, like, watching this live. I was like, you're kidding me, right? And Rachel, gracious and lovely as always, because I would have been looking at them crazy. I'd have been talking some shit on that stage. But, like, I wrote some of this down. They were like, oh, like, how could you have handled, like, Ava better in this situation? How... oh, expected and expected. No. This is... they're pretty much, like, putting this on Rachel. Like, how did you fuck this? On the record, how did you fuck this up? Rachel is so much better than me, because I would have been livid. I would have been so mad on that stage. It's crazy. To be like, how did you manage, if you had managed Ava better, do you think you would still be in the game? Your game should not be reliant on a competition, you being paid for a competition, because dragging somebody to a storage room should not send you home. She went home because Ava got bitter, because she broke her arm in half, and because production doesn't know where Big Brother is. That's why she got sent home. They can try and lie and say, oh, the social aspect, There was no social aspect of it. Because even, like, the social aspect of it is, oh, you can maybe not play because people would think you're good, and you could probably make it to the end and not even play the maze and not be in danger. But then you didn't get to play HOH. All of I'm putting to my screen, all of the 3 final nominees right there, not one of them got to play HOH this week. How was that fair? Guaranteed the person going home did not get a shot to play HOH. And that's such bullshit. That's crap. But Rachel, even though they're trying to put this on her, literally so kind. Just being like, like, I love this show, better than me. I would have thrown my chair through that screen. They even show her a comic. Her comic was cute. I loved her comic. Now, I can't. This show pisses me off so much. This is my favorite. Like I said, my brother's #1 fan, biggest hater. We get, oh my god. We get the scene as well of Morgan in the hammock when she's mad as fuck at Vince for picking Lauren over her again. Still mad about this. She's probably still mad to this day about it. That shit's crazy. It's just so crazy. The leaning on the ham. I can't. I don't want to talk about that. Vince. Oh, Vince gives me the ick so much. I can't. Girl, I can't. Take a breath. Take the beanie off. Put the hair straightener down. Breathe. Unclench. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. You're fine. I can't. I don't like Vince. Can you? I don't like Vince. Ugh. I can't. It's just like, oh my god. Every time, and listen, I love Morgan. I really do. She's got, girl, stand up. This man can't be worth it. What does this man have? Exactly. We get some pitching, not Vince, Keanu talking to Morgan, like, oh, you keep me, I can target Lauren, because I'm going to go after her now that she put me up. The deal, like I mentioned before, with Keanu and Ashley agreeing to keep each other safe if they're on the block, both to keep each other. Now we get the blockbuster. And every Thursday, a couple hours before the show, they've been posting clips of what the blockbuster is. They did this last season as well. Of Julie, they have Julie run them. The moment the clip this week dropped, I took one look at that and I was like, okay, so Keanu wins. It's the untangle. It's the one, they have the rope attached to them. It's all wrapped around all these bars, crisscross, and they have to climb through over, under, in and out, in and out, in and out, to unweave the rope, drag it across the room, and lock it in at their base across the room. This is so Keanu win. It's crazy. I don't even need to talk about. He won. Obviously, he won. He's against Ashley, who is athletic, but not to his level, and Will, whose knee is busted from BB Comics. Ashley was doing fairly well. She was like halfway, she had a rope like halfway up, because she made a run when Keanu made a run. But Keanu is like very athletic, very built, very agile. Cleared it quick. So stupid. I saw that and I was like flabbergasted. I was like, what's even the point of running it? We already know who's gonna win. I watched that and I was like, who's shocked? Not me. Like, what are we doing? Unbelievable. But yeah, surprise, surprise. Ashley and Will are the final nominees. And it's very funny when they come back in from the blockbuster. The way nobody's excited that Keanu wins is literally like golf claps. And they've long given up on strategy. Strategy time is just hug and then we sit on the couch. Nobody strategizes anymore, and it's annoying. They give their speeches. They're both extremely everybody's very emotional. Because, everybody loves Will. I think at this point he kind of knows. He'll say later that they all kind of gave him the heads up. Thanks to the work that Ashley put in, that they don't air on TV. But everybody's very sad, very emotional. Because everybody loves Will. But 3-2, they still vote him out. The only people that vote to evict Ashley are Ava, no shocker there, and Kelly, also no shocker there. Partially because Kelly, I don't think, likes Ashley, and Ava is like best friends with Will. It's very sad. I do love Will. I'm like, Mumty's gone, but I'm just because we could have got Keanu. Lauren, by the start of this week, her goal was to get a big target out, Keanu and Morgan at the end of the week, and she got out Will. Okay, girl. Okay. If she had just, won that veto, she could have taken down Will, which I think would have been the smarter move. And it would have been Ashley versus Keanu versus Morgan. And I think Morgan could have done well in that blockbuster. I don't know if she would have beat Keanu, but I think at the very least would have been a lot closer. And then you would have had guaranteed Keanu's out on the block and could have got him out. And that would have been a big move. But no, Will. And we could throw vetoes because it's just so annoying. I'm just like, no common sense. And she is the super fan of the house, the biggest one. What the fuck? Oh, has been watching since she was like 7. Why do these people do this to me? But yeah, Will is gone. Will tells Julie, they told him, like, oh, you got Ashley's pictures this week. Everybody loves Will. Will is going to make it far because nobody is going to vote him out. Whoever's next to him is going to go home. You sit next to him at finals who you're going to lose to Will. So they all realized, yeah, we can't make it to the end with Will. Which is fair. I do think he could have won. Depending on who he sat next to. I think he could have done well. But yeah, Will is gone. And that is our end of week 9. They do tease us at the end. Next week, double eviction. The only one they could have done. Because the stupid blockbuster, which is still going. We are at final 7. And they are still doing the blockbuster. Let it die, please. It was fun It was fun for 26. We could move on. It still went a little too long on 26. I think mostly the cast was carrying that because it was just so good. I just love 26 so much. Oh my god. I miss 26. I still think about the clips when they had Angela for that veto and I saw the clips. I was like, oh, my family. My people. We're still with these crazy bitches. But yeah, that is week 9. You're at final 7. Looking at this screen is so crazy. Like, if you told me this was final 7, I would have never believed you. Week 1. I'd be like, what? But yeah. Ashley, Ava, Keanu, Kelly, Lauren, Morgan, and Vince. One of these people will actually win the show. That's crazy. But yeah. So next week, we got a double, babes. Now, week 10 was the other day. Wrapped up the other day. So that video will be coming as well. We will be talking, the full week 10, and our double. The 2-hour double. That week was only a 2-hour Thursday episode, 2-hour Wednesday episode, a 2-hour Thursday episode, and Unlocked. The final Unlocked of the season. So that video, I am planning on doing it this week, because finale, spoiler alert, is Sunday the 28th. That's coming up real fast. So expect week 10 very soon. Probably tomorrow. Probably Monday. We'll see. Now, as we wrap up Big Brother for the season, we have more shows coming in. As I've mentioned before, I posted my coverage for The Amazing Race 38 cast this weekend. I apologize if it's not as strategically in depth as you may have wanted it to be. Honestly, like I said in the video, I am not the expert on The Amazing Race. I am a very casual Amazing Race watcher. Sorry. I tune in time to time. So, mostly I'm just talking about how much I love from my Big Brother knowledge on these people. But I think it's fun. I think we're going to be in for a fun season for The Amazing Race. And also coming up, we have Survivor 49. Now, Survivor 49 is premiering. I had to check date for a second. Survivor 49 is coming up Wednesday the 24th. The Amazing Race is Thursday the 25th. And then once Big Brother is done, it'll be back-to-back on Wednesdays. So expect as well the Survivor 49 cast video which should be, I believe I'm gonna try to post that maybe Wednesday in the morning before, since it's that Wednesday night. I'm gonna be real. I am also a bit of a newer Survivor fan as well. I started watching at 47, but I have watched more seasons than that. I have gone back and started watching seasons. So, yeah, expect coverage for that as well. And once we hit October, I'm also going to bring in Guts and Glory as well. I was going to start that in September, but I didn't want to, with all this, with Big Brother going on still, I'm like, let's push it to October. Fits more of the Halloween vibe. So yeah, we got a lot of things coming up. It's going to be real fun. And we got to see who wins this crazy ass season. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Leave a like, subscribe if you like, leave your comments, tell me how stupid this twist is. How much, on a scale of 10 to 10, how much do you hate the White Locust twist? How could they have made this better? How could they make this actually work with the show? Let me know. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Sorry for all my ranting and raving, but what do you expect? Alright, thanks guys. I'll see you next time.